Hello, my name is Vincent Faney. I am the author of Zen and the Art of Resistance Training. We're just done with the chapter 13. Right now we're going to chapter 13 or 14. Chapter 13. And this is the book that I wrote years ago because I saw a correlation between the mind and body. Many mystical events that people said that they got from yoga and other forms of meditation I have achieved through weightlifting, and of course I've achieved a world-class level of strength in the earlier issues, and on some of my tapes you will see what level that I reached, like if you read my creds and so forth and so on. These are not just, I'm not bragging, I just have to basically tell you what I'm doing, just so you know that I do have creds. And two, all this is verifiable. It's just not me blowing steam. It's all verifiable. So, you know, and it's up to you to determine whether, of course, some of the insights that I give you, some of the thumbnail sketches of each chapter I give you, that perhaps I know what I'm talking about. Because some people could reach a little level of degree of proficiency, but really not know how they got there. It was kind of hit or miss. But I explained that I have a good handle in science. I am going for pursuing a degree in biomedical engineering, so just check it out and see what you think. Anyways, here we go. We're just covering this chapter. Basically, I want to talk about how weight training relates to the real world, chapter 3. Okay, I got a friend of mine who's a plant manager. Hold on a sec. Plant manager at different. He's like a headhunters come and get him if they got a plant that's going under or going wrong. He just basically comes in and figures it out. Now, he used to be a wrestler. He was on the wrestling team with me, and so he lifted weights. But he says, you know, what is it? I love weightlifting, but what does it really do in the real world? Okay, and so basically, this is how we want to talk about that. How does it relate? Well, you know, when you get strong and you're all over, have a good muscular balance and strength and so forth, it increases your ability to perform heavy labor repeatedly, effectively. It decreases your chances of incurring injuries. And not only at work, as heavy labor jobs or not, even sedentary jobs, it helps you increase your chances, decreases your chances rather, of incurring injury in sports and so forth, and makes your recovery time a lot faster if you do get injured. And heavy labor jobs, blue collar jobs, it makes labor jobs more fun. Now, I used to work at places on the side when I was younger that allowed me to lift repeatedly 100 pounds out on the dock. Just lifting it, throwing 100 pounds over and over and over at a fast pace all night long. And of course, that makes you very, very valuable to your employee, to your employer. And also, you know, when you work with other guys who are pretty strong, we get kind of competitive and who could stack more hampers higher and all this other stuff. And this essentially is what strongman competitions are about. The world's strongest men, they do heavy labor jobs. They don't just lift weights like how much can the Olympic lift or whatever, but they carry things, and they carry heavy things at high speed and repeatedly. And it's just basically a lot of these strongman stunts were carryovers from real life jobs. And so, you know, the old hardcore old school thought was, well, what good is weightlifting if it doesn't like relate into the real world? No, I think that's true. I think that's has good merit, you know. Now, I like Joseph Chilton Pierce. He wrote the book The Cosmic Egg, Cracking the Cosmic Egg, the Evolution Zen, Transcendence of Biology, or Biology of Trans, something like that. But I talked to this guy for a couple hours. He's one of my heroes as an educator. You must read his books. You must read his books. Because when I read his books, I was going, oh my God, he's articulating all these things that I've experienced through weightlifting, and I couldn't articulate it as well as him. And so I was so excited. I wrote him and said, sir, I want to speak to you, and I want permission. Will you give me some? If you like my book, if you think it relates well, if it's relevant to your work and body of research, would you give me some a good what was the word? Failing the word right now, but give me some. You know, would you let people know I'm credible if you think I'm credible? And I like one of his statements. We have open-ended potentials. Potentials is always limited by the sum total of the image conjured up in the mind. So that's the sad thing about weightlifting, is so many people think that they're limited. They always tell themselves, I can't do this without steroids. Or they say, you know, the only reason why people are doing that, they're probably taking steroids. When somebody accuses another person of taking steroids without real evidence, they're basically saying, that's the only way it can be done. I'm weak, I'm limited, I'm inferior, and they are either genetically superior or they have taken steroids or both. You should constantly telling yourself that you are superior, that you have open-ended potential. And it will cost you nothing to do so if you're going to put the time in to work out anyways. If you're going to put in the hours to work out, why should you go to the gym and tell yourself every step of the way that you're inferior and weak and you can't and it's limited and so forth? What will it cost you to invest a different mindset and say, I can, I will, I have unlimited, and to visualize the superhuman feats that a person can do and say, that will be me, and believe it. But what would hurt? Especially if you don't try to like go from a 100-pound bench and slap on 500 and say, I'm going to try. I'm saying if you do it incrementally. You know, if you don't get there, you don't get there because you don't, you know, because you just simply don't put enough time in. But you'll go far. You'll go. Your potential is limitless. Anyways, that's it for now. That was just a thumbnail sketch of the chapter 13. See you at chapter 14.